Stacy's Reflections from the Farm. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of weird. Weird weather, odd illnesses, and all the things that just don't feel familiar. Like many people, when things feel uncertain, I make up stories, or you can call them beliefs. For example, this summer after my old goat Emma died, I told myself that because the rest of my animal family was young, I wouldn't have to deal with death for quite a while. This belief made me feel safe and comfortable. And yet, then it happened. On October 24th at 9:30 p.m., I found our beloved 11-year-old cat, Gabby, dead on our entry floor. She had no symptoms. There were no signs. Actually, earlier that evening, she had eaten and played with Callie. Gabby entered our family a week after we said goodbye to our first horse, Chester. She was young, hungry, and cold when we found her in our shed. The tip of one ear was gone, probably due to frostbite, and she needed surgery for a poorly developed eye. Of course, she was going to be a barn cat. And yet, that idea lasted less than a week. Gabby wormed her way into the hearts of the older boys and Molly. They were playmates and cuddle buddies. Molly would even give up her bed. Even though she was still a queen, Gabby readily accepted our new cat, Callie. They enjoyed batting at each other. Callie acknowledged Gabby's death by rubbing her face around Gabby's. Then she sat back and gave her a quick parting slap, as if to say, "I owe you one." Gabby was Bree's cuddler. Bree hardly entered the house before Gabby was there calling her to the couch. Todd had a special relationship with Gabby. She loved his living room chair, and she would crawl into his lap within seconds of him sitting down. She also had this strange grooming ritual with Todd. This gave me the EBGBs. However, it was hilarious to watch her face when Todd began his nightly ritual of making loud noises. Of course, this always happens during the best part of a movie. Gabby was my healer and rehabilitation nurse. Through all of my surgeries, she was there knowing exactly where the pain resided, and she would either lay with her heart on that spot or gently knead it. If I couldn't get to sleep, or if I woke up during the night, Gabby would wiggle her way next to me and purr gently until I fell asleep. There have been many a night since she's been gone that I reach for her. A number of years ago, Todd and I rode our bikes through the longest tunnel, which was close to a mile long, on the Elroy-Sparta Trail. In the middle of this tunnel, even with flashlights and headlights, I couldn't see anything. Not even Todd next to me. It was cold, damp, and scary. It felt like a liminal space where you can't go back, but you have no idea if you're even moving forward. This is what grief and loss feels like to me. This loss can be because of a death, or the loss of a belief, story, or even a dream, a doubt, or the loss of whatever's familiar. During these uncertain times of my life, I question everything. I question my beliefs, God's reasoning and purpose, and I even question if there is a God. Then it happens. I start to see a light at the end of the tunnel. It may be because my sister checks in with me daily, or a friend calls to see how I am, or my mother sends a handwritten note talking about how important Gabby was to the family. It may be texts from coworkers, or a bunch of late-season flowers from a friend. Or it may even be an email from someone who doesn't know what's going on in my life, but chooses that time to tell me how much my ministry has meant to her. As that light gets brighter, I begin again to believe there is a God. There is hope. There is meaning. And I see God in my everyday life. You see, it is through you that God connects us all. Thank you for answering God's call.